our dear viewers, and welcome to our special coverage for the current visit by Spanish King Philip VI to Egypt. Actually, the Spanish media highlighted the King Philip VI visit to Egypt as a strategic step amid the Gaza crisis. More details about the visit in the following story.
Spanish newspapers have extensively covered the official visit of King Philip VI and Queen Letizia to Egypt, highlighting its significance amid regional tensions. The visit coincides with a period of heightened friction between Spain's government and Israel over the war in Gaza, promoting Spanish media to emphasize the historical ties and strategic importance of the Egypt-Spain relationship. Spanish newspapers described the visit as taking place at a critical diplomatic juncture, given Egypt's pivotal role in the de-escalation efforts in Gaza and Madrid's support for Cairo's initiatives to bolster regional stability. The Spanish media also highlighted the growing cooperation between the two countries in tourism, cultural exchange, and renewable energy, along with increasing Spanish investments in Egypt. The visit underscores both nations' commitment to strengthening their Euro-Mediterranean partnership, which includes key areas like migration, energy, and agriculture. This confirms Egypt's status as a central regional power. The trip solidifies the relationship between Cairo and Madrid as a strategic partnership built on extensive political coordination and a shared vision for supporting regional stability and prosperity. The four-day visit includes meetings with the Spanish community in Cairo, an official reception with President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and participation in the Spanish-Egyptian Economic Forum. The royal couple is also scheduled to visit archaeological sites in Luxor, including projects led by Spanish researchers for over a quarter century. The visit is not merely protocol, it carries clear diplomatic messages. Madrid seeks to strengthen its ties with Cairo, a central party in mediating between Palestinians and Israelis. The King's anticipated meeting with Arab League Secretary General Ahmed further underscores Spain's support for cooperation with the Arab world. The Spanish extensive media coverage of the visit confirms that the Egyptian-Spanish relationship is entering a new phase, blending economic interests with shared diplomatic stakes in the Mediterranean and also the Middle East.
And to shed more light about this very important visit by King Philip the Sixth and Queen Letizia to Egypt, a very important visit, the first of its kind. We are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, the researcher in international relations. Dr. Mostafa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure, as I told you before.
Doctor, how do you assess the significance of King Philip VI and Queen Letizia's state visit to Egypt at this very particular and significant timing?
You know that Spain was the partner for the dialogue within the Euromed dialogue. It was one of the good partners and reliable partners in this regard, as well as in a lot of issues like civilization and culture and so on. The good thing that Spain now is one of the reluctant or one of the countries that are taking, a stand against, the will of the EU or the EU biggest countries in this regard, especially for Gaza and the Palestinian cause and things like that. And they started to deprive Israel from a lot of, incentives, and recently the sports or the athletic committee over there trying to make a ban on Israel, as we watched it a couple of days ago. And also, Spain already after the success of the president of France, Macron, to Egypt in the winter, they took the visit as like a guideline for them just to treat with Egypt, and they know that Egypt, they have a significant situation as a scale holder and as a peacemaker in the region. This is why, Spain is trusting Egypt and having not just a time cooperation, but it was since a long time ago. And of course, as of Mediterranean, we feel each other. We still have this hot blood. We still have the spirit just to support the people who are under danger and in hazardous circumstances, like the people of Gaza. And it was very evident in the census of Spain, whether in the level of the king and on the level of the people, whom we find them dismissing a lot of tourists from Israel, from some restaurants and some facilities over there, which was like a very progressive stance from this side towards us.
Sir, on the political level, how do you see this visit reinforcing the cooperation and coordination between both Egypt and Spain on the Mediterranean and Middle Eastern issues?
As I told you, Spain is not away from Mediterranean. Spain originally is from the Arabs. Spain is called as the Arabs of Europe.
Indeed.
Therefore, they have the roots that belongs to them from the Arab origins. They feel what we feel. They watch our TV and are aware enough of what's going on, because you know that Spain, global actor is just a few kilometers from Morocco to Spain. Therefore, they are aware of what we are, witnessing and what we are feeling, and politically, that gives it more weight in, as a peacemaker and as a scale holder in the region, and also put pressure on Israel in this regard, because we have strength and we have Spain, and both of them, they are like awaiting countries in Europe and important countries in Europe. Therefore, it is good for Egypt just to have a partner, especially in peace and in economic and in political levels in this regard time being. And I think Egypt with Spain, with France can, form like a pressure party on the Zionist entity and on the United States as well, just to seize the fire as soon as possible, and just allow for the humanitarian and Medicare just to access to Gaza.
Yes. Sir, on the economic level, what opportunities could emerge from the visit, especially with Egypt-Spain Business Forum taking place in Cairo?
You know that Spain is a part of the EU, and accordingly, we have a lot of, cooperation with the EU, because EU is considered like the first, economic partner for Egypt in this regard. Therefore, we have several, levels of cooperation, exceeding like 20 billion euros in this regard in terms of the infrastructure, the scientific research, the infrastructure, and a lot of issues in this regard. Therefore, we need to enlarge our cooperation in fields like the scientific research, artificial intelligence, digitization. Also, Spain experience in the field of, agriculture and so on. These are the main fields that we should, focus in this time being with Spain.
Yes. Doctor, the visit is taking place amid the ongoing war in the Gaza Strip. How does this context actually would shed light and top the political weight of the Spanish royal visit to Egypt? And indeed, we have common vision regarding the file and the Gaza crisis between Egypt and Spain.
Spain, as I told you, is one of the greatest countries in the EU.
Yes.
And according to their presence and cooperation with our side, we can do a lot. And the people, as I told you, they are aware enough, they are very close to us, they are very close to the people of Gaza, they are listening to our news, to the analysis. Therefore, in negotiations in terms of the EU and Israel and so on, now we heard that recently the EU trying to push and put pressure on the Zionist entity in this regard. And this matter, once you have Spain and you have France and you have Norway, Ireland and the other countries, I think this pressure group will have a greater impact, because now Israel, in the worst economic ever, and they need support from the EU. Therefore, just to try to have this pressure on the Israel, I think it will push them just to stop the atrocities that they are carrying out against our innocent people over there in Gaza.
Yes, indeed. Sir, actually, what role can Spain and Egypt play together in strengthening the international diplomatic pressure to achieve a ceasefire and a humanitarian aid access to the enclave?
I think, our officials, most of the time, they are professional in this because they are taking all the officials just to visit Rafah and the hospitals there, the places nearby the borders with the Zionist entity and so on. Therefore, once they are having this eyewitnessing, according to what's going on, it gives like the greater and the real impact that they really to feel in this because that happened before with Macron. Once President Sisi, he joined him when they visited the hospital of Al Arish and Rafah and things like that, and he listened to the real stories from the people of Gaza over there. Accordingly, they will find out that the people, they already giving the real stories and experiences, they already exposed via the Zionist entity and so on. Therefore, this is exactly the right way to, make, your, especially this top level or highly caliber guests, feel what you feel and react according to what you want him to react.
Indeed, sir, Spain has actually taken a clear stance in support of the Palestinian rights, while Egypt is playing a very important role as a mediator. How do you see here the alignment between both countries in addressing this very alarming crisis?
It's good because once you have, such impressive and just waiting countries, especially from the West, because also Spain, they have a strong media. And also in Spain, as you know, the Spanish language is kind of one of the biggest 6 languages worldwide already accredited by the United Nations. And they have a greater impact, especially on the Latin America. And Latin America considered like the one of the biggest population worldwide, maybe like the 6th of the population worldwide. Therefore, the impact is greater. The Latino world, I think it's going to be your own once you have a country like Spain in this regard.
Yes. Sir, do you see here that this visit is sending a message here to Israel regarding the importance of engaging with regional powers like Egypt in order to achieve de-escalation to the very alarming situation in the Gaza Strip? And we have seen yesterday an start of land invasion to the Strip and huge bombardment as well from the Israeli side. So how do you see the situation from here?
The situation, is expected because, Netanyahu is epileptic now. And as I said several times before, Netanyahu is taking narcotics, especially the chemical, narcotics, just to have this, emotional stability before the media. But currently, they are in the weakest, position ever because he has the pressure from everywhere, from Europe, even from America, MAGA, for example, movement, and so on. Of course, from our region, the Arab League and the urgent Arab and Islamic League that was held in Doha recently. Therefore, he insisted to do that because he has no other solution. But they do think that Gaza is full of traps. And each week, if you follow the news, especially the news that's coming from Gaza, they have like a qualitative operation each week against, the IDF members, whether officers or soldiers or so on. Therefore, the resistance group, they are waiting for them because it is their own land, and maybe they were waiting for this invasion to happen just to show to the Zionist entity how much we are stronger and how much we can make it very painful for you and unforgettable for you. And I think this is exactly the way they will treat with them.
Sir, from your perspective, how does Spain's position on Gaza actually reflect a shift in the European public opinion and political discourse on this conflict?
I think, yes, because maybe a few months ago, also von der Leyen and the other people and Callas and so on, they were insisting that Israel has the right to defend itself. But now, with the aggravation of the humanitarian situation over there in Gaza, they started to change bit by bit, but it's okay now. And a few days ago, I found also von der Leyen started for the first time just to talk about some sort of limitations against Israel and starting to having sanctions against Israel, which is like a good progress in this regard. Yes, it is too much late, however, it is good enough. And day after day, I think it's going to be like a critical mass against Israel in this regard before it will have the proper impact that we need. However, we need a kind of a real boycott. I think Egypt can manage the matter of make a boycott from Europe against Israel, which will be more impressive on Israel in this regard.
Yes. Sir, can we say that this cooperation between Egypt and Spain can pave the way for a stronger European-Arab dialogue aimed to promote a fair and lasting solution to the Palestinian crisis here?
If they have the goodwill, especially the Europeans, if they have the goodwill just to do that, and I think some countries like Spain, like France, like Norway, Ireland, and the others who started really just to say no, and enough is enough to Israel. If the collective action coming from Europe, I think Israel will be in a very bad situation, and they have to surrender and they have to cease the fire immediately. Because more or less, Europe should take the proper, steps towards that via, stopping, the weapons and the assistance and the food subsidies that they are giving to Israel, as well as the money. Yes. These are the main three things that they are giving to Israel: weapons and food, as well as the money. Yes. Once they stop the three elements, I think Israel has to. Because also Europe is the biggest partner for Israel as well.
Indeed. Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, researcher in international relations, thank you so much, sir, for your very precious input. Always a pleasure. And our dear viewers, with that, we come to the end of our special coverage for now on the current visit by King Philip VI of Spain and Queen Letizia to Cairo. Many thanks for watching.